Cruising has changed in recent years, and these money-saving tips will have you enjoying more while spending less. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, cruising and travel has changed a lot in recent years, and honestly, sometimes it seems like we are just spending so much extra money. But are there better ways? Absolutely. Now, some of these money-saving cruise tips are a little bit unconventional, but I promise you that they really do work. Now, I got these money-saving secrets not only from my own experience, but also from Reddit forums, TikTok, and yes, real cruisers. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Number one, splurge on experiences by booking an inside cabin. Now, I'm not talking about booking an inside cabin to save money. Of course, you can definitely do that. There's nothing wrong with it. But what many cruisers are sharing is that they have found out that by booking an inside cabin, they have money left over to experience things on the cruise ship. And in particular, things that they would really enjoy over having that extra balcony space. Now, I'm talking about thermal spa passes. Now, those can cost between $200 and $300 for a 7-night cruise, but they could really add a lot of enjoyment. And the nice thing about many thermal spas is not only are they beautiful and the experiences are really good, but you also get some amazing views, often from the very front of the ship. Now, when we were recently on a Carnival cruise, I spoke to some cruise passengers who told me that they booked inside Havana cabins. Now, Havana is a really interesting and nice area on a Carnival cruise ship, where in some cases you have pools, you have hot tubs, you have an exclusive bar, you have a quieter space to lounge. So it really does make for a nice experience. Now, other cruisers shared that they booked cabanas on their cruise ship, or they booked the Sanctuary either for a whole day or the entire week, or they booked an adult-only retreat area that comes with additional amenities and some great service. Money-saving Wi-Fi or internet hacks. Now, a lot of cruisers are rethinking if they really need internet or Wi-Fi during the cruise. Now, you absolutely might, but in some cases, you might look at your itinerary and see, can I use Wi-Fi or the internet when I'm in a cruise port of call, and perhaps skip it when I am on the cruise? After all, a lot of us, if you've cruised for a while, you remember the days where we were more disconnected, and sometimes there's a little bit of a pleasure to that. Now, depending on your cruise line, you may get a certain amount of free basic Wi-Fi. Now, if you have Norwegian Cruise Line's More at Sea, they give you a minimal amount of free Wi-Fi. I think that it's between 150 and 300 minutes. Now, that is not very long, but that might just be enough for the times that you absolutely need to use it. And I will share a little bit of an old school hack that I actually saw people doing on a recent cruise, and that is to have a whiteboard out on your cabin door. And if you're cruising with other people, you can leave a note as to where you are, and they could leave a note right back. Use an eSIM in cruise ports of call. An eSIM is one of the most affordable ways to stay connected when cruising and traveling. It gives you reliable data in port as well as during your pre and post-cruise travel without paying those expensive roaming fees from your cell phone provider. Now, this is where the sponsor of our video, Saily, comes in. Now, for my upcoming river cruise, which I am going to share a little bit more in an upcoming video, I'm using Saily. They're one of the most affordable eSIMs, and Saily is easy to use as you only have to install one app even if you're going to several countries. I'll have Wi-Fi included on my river cruise, but I'm still going to need internet while I'm exploring ports and for before and after my cruise. Now, I chose their regional Europe 5 GB plan, which is perfect for checking emails, for posting on social media, and for messaging through WhatsApp. Now, I'm not super tech savvy, so I really like how easy it is to use. You just download the Saily app, you pick a plan, there are 190 countries and 9 regions, and install the eSIM once by following the instructions on the app. With Saily, you don't have to install a new app for each country, and it works automatically across ports on your trip. They have options for Europe, the Caribbean, Asia, and even global plans if you're covering multiple regions. And the best part is that you're always connected, which is really important for safety when traveling. No more wandering around looking for public Wi-Fi or worrying about finding a SIM card in every country. Now, Saeli is not just affordable, it's also secure. Saeli is backed by Nord Security, so it includes a VPN, ad blocking, and web protection. Now, I do have an exclusive 15% off discount code on Saeli data plans. Use code LifeWhaleCruise at checkout, or I will also leave a link down below in the description of this video, as well as a pinned comment. Money-saving flight tip, in particular if you're going on a cruise that is leaving out of South Florida, so meaning Miami or Port Everglades, which is Fort Lauderdale. Now, instead of just looking at the airport that is closest to your cruise port, look at each of the airports. Now, in our case, for whatever reason, most of the time from the city that I live in, it is actually cheaper to fly into Fort Lauderdale than Miami. Now, not always, but there have been times, truthfully, that I have saved up to $300 per person by flying into Fort Lauderdale on a return ticket. And even if I include the fact that it does cost probably between $75 and maybe $90 to take an Uber from Miami to Fort Lauderdale and vice versa, it is still worth it. Plan, plan, and plan. Anything you do, if you book it ahead of time or if you arrange it ahead of time, is going to be less expensive. And in our experience, it's always been more expensive if we've gotten off in a cruise protocol and we weren't sure what to do and we didn't research. We almost always spent more money. And of course, it's the same thing when it comes to shore excursions. When it comes to the packages that you can purchase on board a cruise, most of the time they are going to be more expensive if you wait until you're on board. And even when booking hotels, book your hotel as soon as you book your cruise, even if it seems far away. And you can always book a refundable rate and look back after. But in our experience over the last couple of years, hotels get more expensive as your date comes closer. They never go down. Now, a little extra cruise tip. I've mentioned this before, but it's always worth mentioning. When you have booked your cruise, if you've booked it far in advance, keep checking the price of your cruise up until you get to the point of final payment, because most of the time, if the price of your cruise has gone down, sometimes that does happen, the cruise line will usually honor that lower price. Please let me know down below in the comments if you've ever used that trick. Currency conversion. Now, have you ever wondered if you are being ripped off when you're in a cruise protocol and you want to check how much would it cost in your own dollars, so in US or in Canadian or in euros, whatever currency you use. Now, if you have an iPhone, take a look at the calculator tool, because on the newer iPhones or any of the iPhones that have gone through the iOS 18, I believe it is, update, your calculator now has a currency converter, so you can actually calculate right then and there how much something costs. The soda trick. Now, many cruise lines will allow you to bring soda on board your cruise on embarkation day. And it's not uncommon on Carnival and even on Royal Caribbean to see people going in with 12 cans of soda. I don't think that you can bring more than that, but you can bring that. And if you don't have the drink package, it's definitely a good way to save money. But many cruisers have shared a little extra tip, and that is that many cruise lines will allow you to bring some soft drinks back on board in a cruise protocol. Now, of course, the quantities do have to be limited, and in many cases, it might be limited to cans as well, because of course, they don't want you sneaking alcohol onto the cruise ship. Now, I do have a few more drink package as well as food hacks, but first let's talk about a cruise dining tip that will save you money. Skip specialty dining. Now, this is actually my own tip based on experience, and this is something that we were talking about in our house just the other day. Now, I still like specialty dining, so there's nothing wrong with doing it, but I think if I was going to really try to save some money on a cruise, that is probably one of the first things that I would skip, and it's for a particular reason. First of all, we have been doing specialty dining probably for about 20 years. We have done at least one specialty dining restaurant. We would splurge on that during our cruise. But the truth is, I have found over recent years, specialty dining the quality of it, the specialness, the intimacy of the atmosphere as more people are doing it, well, it's just not as good an experience as it was before. And truthfully, it is also more expensive. Now, don't get me wrong, I still love the food, but on recent cruises, we noticed that even in specialty restaurants, there are some items that actually now have upcharges, even though you're already paying a premium to go eat there. And the funny thing is, now that so many people are going to the specialty restaurants, the times that we did eat in the main dining room, it was actually not overly busy and we did get quite good service. Food hacks. Now, I love these food hacks. I found many of these on TikTok. So we'll start off with bring waffle cones. Now, there is free soft ice cream, I think, on just about every cruise ship. And of course, they do have cups and they do have cones. But many people are now bringing waffle cones or even like specialty cones, like Oreo cones. Bring your own crunchy snacks. Now, that is a little bit hard to find on a cruise ship. And sometimes you might find that you're missing that crunchy snack, like a bag of Doritos or your favorite chips. Bring your own candy, M&Ms, Twizzlers, and even gum. Not only are these expensive if you do buy them on the cruise ship, but in my experience, I've never been able to find gum. I have heard they don't actually sell it on a cruise ship, but let me know if you know that for sure. Bring your own flavored coffee creamers. Bring your own flavored water packets. Bring a thermal cup and put your soft ice cream in that thermal cup so that it doesn't melt. Or even better, bring your own thermal cup, put your ice cream in that cup, and then add milk to make your own milkshake. And of course, you can make your own milkshake with the cups right there in the buffet. Bring Ziplocs or even reusable containers so that you can take some cookies back to your cabin or even a sandwich. There are some people who say that they even grab a guy's burger and they bring that back to their cabin for a late night snack. And something I've never heard before, but I think is a really smart idea, is that at the dollar store, you can find plate covers. So you can actually bring this on a cruise ship and then you can make a little bit of a plate, maybe even a charcuterie plate at the buffet and bring it back to your cabin. You can place it in your fridge for later or bring it back to your cabin and enjoy it with wine out on your balcony. Speaking of wine, let's go over a few drink package hacks that are going to save you money. Bring your own wine on a cruise ship. Most cruise ships, not all of them, but most are going to allow you to bring one bottle of wine or Prosecco or champagne per person. Order a bottle of liquor to your cruise cabin. Now, you cannot do this on every cruise line, but Carnival does allow you to order certain liqueurs to your cabin. Now, you can't do this on the cruise ship. You can't just go to the duty-free store and purchase a bottle of alcohol, but you can do this ahead of time by going on the Carnival website or calling the fun shop. Now, there is a bottle limit, but if you have brought your own soft drinks on board or you drink the free juice that is on board, this is one way to still save a lot of money, as mixed cocktails are always going to be more expensive. Now, there are more ways to save money on drinks on different cruise ships. These include looking for daily specials. Every cruise ship will have these. Buying buckets of beer where you pay for 4 or 5 bottles and get one free. And don't forget to check for happy hour specials that might be happening at certain bars. Free drink opportunities. There are always going to be some free drink opportunities on a cruise ship. Now, this includes the champagne waterfall on Captain's Night when you're on a princess cruise, but you can also check out the art auctions. Oftentimes there are going to be champagne art auctions where they're giving out free champagne. You can also look for these shopping events. Sometimes they're giving out champagne at some of the different boutiques on the cruise ship. The welcome back parties. The only tip that I would share though is those welcome back parties are usually only 30 minutes and people don't really linger. So make sure that you get there on time, if not a few minutes early. Now, I'm gonna leave all of the information for the Saily data plans linked down below in the description of this video, as well as a pinned comment. And of course, the code LifeWellCruised, where you can get 15% off. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Please let me know your own unconventional money-saving cruise tip or hack down below in the comments. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now and happy cruising.